Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How's it going, Joey?
I'm doing all right, Jeff. How are you doing? I know you're in Missouri now. This is our first time doing kind of a Zoom in-person thing.
Yeah, big move. It's a little colder here.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, we're getting cold
nice.
here.
It's nice. Since we moved in here, I've had, I've seen, I think now 3 deer and 1 turkey.
Oh, wow. So he looked in the mirror, Martin.
Yeah, the turkey happened when we tested the Zoom earlier, Joey. No. Hey, we got a great guest with us in the house today. We have Martin Sears back. How you doing, Martin?
Good, man. Good to see you guys. Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Martin, you're with West USA, and you have the Sears Group, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. So how is 2021 treating you after we went through that 2020 loss of a year, I guess you could say?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it wasn't a loss for us agents, I guess, since we're, what was the word? Since we're, we were necessary. I don't want to use the word that they always use on the TV or whatever, just because it's offensive for some who are in different fields, but 2021's been great. It's flown by, cruised by. Can't believe it's November. But yeah, done really well. We're on track about the same as we did in 2020, around 200 transactions.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's great. So what makes up the Sears Group now? How many agents or transaction coordinators?
There's 6 of us, and 7 including me, because I'm still boots on the ground. I'm a little different than some other teams. I still, when I got into this 20 years ago, you never would have thought that the industry was going the way it is now, You got into it for relationship basis and meet people and build relationships and sell their homes, sell their referrals, sell their kids' homes, so on and so forth. And now I like to, I introduce the agents. We're all partners. I'm not the team lead. We're partners. That's just the way it is. But there's 7 of us. And not only that, Jeff, if I wasn't out there working boots on the ground with 5, 6, 7 appointments a week, I don't think you would get respect. I mean, I could sit around all day and say do, but I know what I'm good at, and I like to be in front of people on appointments. So then I can pitch it back to agents who are learning, like, hey, this is what we should do, or I'll go with them on appointments a lot of times. I prefer that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Remind the agents how long you've been in real estate now, and kind of what got you into the business in the beginning.
20 years, a full-time real estate agent. I used to work, I think I was on your first show, maybe 2017 or 18, where we talked about I was in retail sales and manufactured homes back in Northeast Ohio.
Yes.
And I know we talked about that quite often. But yeah, it was really cool. That was a fun industry. I did that for 6 years. And then after that, when rates started going up, if you remember the installment loans back in the late 90s for manufactured homes and manufactured home communities, those rates started going nuts. And when the shift kind of went from mortgage rates to 6 and 7%, which I know today's world is like, oh my gosh, 6%, jeez. But the installment loans were going up crazy, like 12 and 13%. So I had to make a move. So with the sales experience that I had, I went to a local brokerage in our county, and I was full-time with Coldwell Banker for about 4.5 years before I moved out to Arizona in 2006, 2005.
2005, right at the crazy time.
Yeah, something like that. Very similar.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. And I think, big shout out to Rachel Turner, right, for getting you on here.
That's right. I've been with Rachel. I've known Rachel for, good grief, 15 years, if not longer, 16, her and Gina. So I've known them. I know Gina from the old REO days when the market kind of took a poop, so to speak. And she was my escrow officer from another company before security title, but it kind of followed those two, really.
Yeah,
so it kind of all happened.
Cool. Now you, if I remember right, you have a niche area, right? So you work Estrella a lot, right?
I do. Now, when I was here the last time when I was with you guys in 2019, that kind of was our business model, kind of stayed in the West Valley. But now with all the internet leads and just all the different buckets and opportunities out there, if you're closed-minded and you're closed on business, you're not. If you want to scale, you just can't do that. You're going to have to expand your horizons and get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So
with your team, with saying that, then with your group, do you have agents that, I mean, have you been strategic in as far as where the agents are located, like where they live?
We all live in the West Valley. No, that's a great question. We're all in the Goodyear, Buckeye, Verrado area. I've got one agent that's actually in Avondale. No, but we're just all, whatever. We do a lot of round robin. So it's just the way it is. If I get a lead and it's round robin, it's somebody that's up in Surprise or Sun City, I got to go. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. So do you do some things in Estrella to like keep your name in front of residents there?
Well, we really haven't had to do much the last 2 years because of the pandemic. I mean, before we would do lots of farmers markets and do lots of local charities and lots of volunteering with schools and just little fundraisers throughout our HOA community. Which they kind of shut that down. It's starting to get more relevant now. But yeah, we always advertise snail mail. We still try to stay out there in front of people with snail mail postcards. Those that do postcards and some of that old farming from 1980s and 90s, it still works.
It still works.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Local magazines where we can. And just really now that things are starting to open up a little bit more, just kind of getting out in the community.
Got it. So you didn't buy everybody masks that said the Sears Group?
No, about the disposable ones.
What would be interesting is I wonder if you can make a mask that is all one color, and then as they breathe, the moisture causes it to say the Sears Group on the outside, and they don't even know it, but they're advertising for you.
Yeah, how about that? That'd be pretty cool. Kind of freaky. I don't know. We might not win very many people over that one, though. Kind of like a neon mask or something.
You mentioned internet leads, so tell us a little bit about that. Where are you getting internet leads? Obviously on the internet, but what are you doing to get them?
Yeah, really just a lot of lead buckets. We're on Zillow Flex, which has been a good partner for us. I know that a lot of the splits are difficult, but you make it up in quantity. I mean, you do. You take the Walmart business model and you just kind of go through it. 0% of zero is zero, and that's what if they don't. When I interview agents that want to come work for us, it's a different. It's got to fit for everybody. But if they're like, oh, these cuts are terrible, well, I mean, you want to work or not? That's just the way it is. I mean, there's unlimited work right now. It's kind of like working in a factory with unlimited overtime. That's kind of that's the way I look at it. You want to work. Those who want to work will be rewarded.
That's right.
Yeah. Before we started, I know we brought up your ELP status, right, with Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
So you also get leads, I'm sure, from that. How many of those do you think you've gotten for the year or what have you?
I interviewed with him back in 2019, and for whatever reason, I don't know if I got lost in the shuffle or I just didn't make the cut. And then they kind of really was irrelevant in 2020. And they came back around and I don't know, I don't want to say headhunted me in 2021, but I've only been with Ramsey since January. And they're tough guys to work for. They assign you a coach. They assign you an asset manager. You got to meet with the coach once a month, the asset manager once a month. You do a mastermind once a month.
Wow.
It's a different philosophy, which is really, really nice. I will tell you this, with the people that they give you on leads, I don't want to say it's a cult because I do. I'm a Ramsey guy. I really am. But I tell you what, when you get a lead from Ramsey, if you talk the talk and walk the walk like Ramsey, it's rewarding. It's very rewarding, but it's also probably one of the easier leads that you'll get just because it's kind of like, well, what should we do? I mean, as long as you are somewhat, if you're preaching some of his practices. Mm-hmm. Keeping them out of harm's way, being missionable, coachable, and reliable is what Dave would always say. You'll do very, very well in his ELPs. And I think that doesn't necessarily just for real estate. I think that's all his ELPs. They all have to go through his baby step training.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So I guess a lot of buyers that come from that probably have the good credit scores, probably putting some money down, I would assume.
No, it's
Oh,
different.
yeah,
Actually,
it's
that's
different.
right, Joey.
No credit score. So
You hit it right on the money.
He doesn't believe in
Oh,
credit
where?
scores.
Oh, no credit score.
Yeah, you hit it on the money. The seller leads are awesome. Very, very good. I don't want to say they're easy, but man, they're enjoyable where you can just sit down old fashioned and just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than just kind of going through your spiel. Cup of coffee, take it. Drink of water, take it. Because you're going to be hunkered down there for 2.5 hours just visiting with these people. Which
I'm
is
wondering,
awesome.
so are you getting, are your buyers then on 15-year loans versus 30? Because I know that's what he pushes.
Yeah, he pushes 15 or 20.
Yeah.
If,
Okay.
if you can afford with your debt to income at 20, go for it. 15 obviously would be the ultimate
Ideal.
goal, but not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
But they already know that. You know what I mean? They already know this because they've gone through his whole system of the baby steps 1 through 7. They already know this. You don't have to pitch that.
Yeah.
You just got to do your job.
Sure. Well, that's good
Got it.
stuff.
But yeah, the buyers are, I don't want to say challenging, but Joey hit it on the money. It's, hey, I'm a first time home buyer and, I've got all this money saved up and I'm ready to go, but Dave Ramsey taught me not to open up any credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lender will get a hold of them for 3 or 4 months and help them build that up a little bit.
Yeah. So they have to probably look at FHA or something like that to use some alternative credit lines, possibly.
Yeah, we've got a bunch in our CRM that's going to be really ready to go the first of the year.
Yeah.
As long as you do your job, like I said, and stay in front of them, they'll be fine.
Got it. So are some of these internet leads, are you getting a lot of relocation type clients?
Yeah, we're not in relocation. A lot of those big relocation companies kind of take charge on that. We go on a lot of listing presentations for reload company people, and then all of a sudden 3 days later they'll say, "Oh, my company's going to relocate me and I can't use you." But they can. It's just more of a networking thing. Yeah, they are. But a lot of times when they come out here, you got to keep in mind a lot of them, they don't have employment, so they'll still have, as long as they're, and this being in the industry, as long as you can pitch it and let them know that they got to stay in the same type of field of work, they'll be fine. Relocation with a lot of Ramsey is not necessarily relocation. They're just like the next step up. Now the sellers are relocating. Yes, all the seller leads that I've had are all relocating, and I mean relocating out of Arizona, which is interesting for whatever reason.
Oh, so you have a lot of clients leaving the state.
That's odd. I do. I know a lot of people. We hear all the time with Cromford and just a lot of news, and the glass is always half full. That there's a lot of people influxing into Phoenix, and there are. There certainly is. That's just. You guys, we all been doing this for a long time here, and that's it's tripled, doubled down in the last decade and a half, and it's going to continue. I certainly feel that way. But it does seem like that different demographic, they're leaving. They've kind of done the Arizona thing for 7 to 10 years or so, and they're taking off, or vacationers or snowbirds.
Got it. Okay. So the people that are, what are some of the reasons for why people are leaving? Are they taking advantage of the fact that their house has gone up so much and that they can move somewhere that's maybe a lower cost of living?
Yeah.
Are a lot of these people working from home now? What are you seeing?
It's a mix. It really is a mix. I don't see it necessarily all on one-sided from maybe somebody who's 65 and they're done now and they're heading back to the Midwest or what have you, because there is a certain population of people that say, hey, I'm grandma, I'm grandpa, I'm going back east, or I'm going up north. I've been here for a decade. I've missed X amount of Christmases. And there's a lot of psychology that I think that goes behind that with the pandemic. They weren't able to see kids and grandkids for the last 2 years. And now they're like, hey, I'm going to sell and go enjoy my life. And I can always come back here later on vacation or what have you and visit. And there's a lot of people, exactly. I actually had a guy that just moved to Missouri that closed earlier this month. And he bought a house in Buckeye for $150, and we're selling it for over $440. And he's like, "This is dumb."
Wow.
Like I'm gonna cash in and go. Can't blame him.
Yeah.
Because
do you remember what part of Missouri he moved to?
I don't. He said he likes to fish and hunt and be retired.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good retirement.
Probably somewhere in the Ozarks.
I don't know. He's a good guy.
Good. That's cool. But I'm surprised to hear that, though, that you have a lot of a lot of your listings are moving out of state. But
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of people on a national level. Just a lot of movement nationwide right now. Of course, certain states that people are exiting, northeast and far west, but I just think a lot of people with the whole work at home thing now has really caused people to stop and think about where they want to be.
That's right. Some priorities and things of that nature. We do work a lot with 55 and older communities. So we work a lot in Pebble Creek, Canamia, Sun City, Victory, Sundance. Those are all communities in the West Valley. So I'd probably say that's a third of our book of business is 55 and older. So that's not too uncommon. It doesn't matter if it's post-pandemic or pre-pandemic. That's always kind of been pretty relevant, I think.
Yeah. So what do you think about today's market? I mean, we're almost at the end of the year, right? Getting ready to start a new year. I mean, the market has just been on fire for a year and a half now, right?
Yeah, you got to be on a swivel.
I just don't know how much more, because I know there's that whole debate now on affordability. At some point there's going to be some issues, but as long as people are moving here from California and Oregon and Washington State, where they're moving, and it seems like the houses here are, obviously less expensive, right? I just feel the folks that are here in Arizona right now that are really, really wanting to get a house, are they? I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad because I feel like they're competing against people that are coming in with all this cash, and I just don't know how much more it can go.
I hear you. What's interesting, Jeff, you and I had this conversation. The last time I ran into you was at the Phoenix Open in January of 2020, and then all hell broke loose in March of last year. Man, I agree with you. Just doing this for 20 years, we were just kind of, you and I, Joey, were just talking before we went live about, who the next Fed chair is going to be, politically, what's happening. Listen, the market, all markets are running. They're redlining. They're red hot. They're keeping it open. Just keep it running hot. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride while it's here. I'm not going to be half full on the glass. I'm enjoying it. We're kicking butt. We love what we're doing. But I do remember the down market days when I worked a lot of foreclosures and REOs as well. So those days will be around, and there's the good and bad. But the good news for us as agents is we're always going to have a job.
That's right.
In a down market, a good market, what have you. You may make a little bit less on your margins in a down market. That's just natural. That's you can't expect anything less, but at least you're working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you doing, and your group, what are you guys doing to get prepared for this new year? Are you making any changes, doing anything, getting prepared for something?
We just had a staff meeting last week. There were a couple new products out there that we're just trying to stay in front of people. A lot of agents, including myself, we get complacent this time of the year. Mm-hmm. I mean, we really do. I just think that you kind of like, all right, I had a great year and it's cool. I'm just going to enjoy some of this, enjoy some of that. And, I'll get nuts the first quarter or in January of next year. What you do now is going to reflect in the first quarter. So you cannot stay complacent in this industry. You have to keep it going. Everyone needs a break. I get that. But what you do in November, December is going to reflect what your paycheck is in January and February. So we got to keep it up. We got to keep the momentum up. We got to keep morale up, and just go.
Yeah. Are there certain things that you're having your team do right now, like in the holiday season, to make sure that you guys are good to go in that first quarter?
What we're doing is we're getting back to basics a little bit. When we had our staff meeting last week, it was the first one we've had in quite some time, was just go through some of your old book of business. Everyone's got a CRM and everyone's supposed to be working it, but are you really? Are you really going through the ones that you hit rejected because for whatever reason you didn't hit it off with them, or whatever the case may be, or they weren't pre-approved, or you went on a listing presentation and your feelings got hurt. You know what? But they didn't sell their home yet. We're doing some pop buys. We've gone all in on pop buys. We're doing old-fashioned door knocking and remember us to get in front of people. After hours, calling. Just making sure that we got scripts to just make sure we stay in front of people, talking about some new products that's out there. There was a lot of people that kind of got burnt out the fourth quarter and the first quarter, or I should say the first half of this year, as far as buyers that go, where they got beat out with cash. They just got beat out with cash, and they just say, to hell with it. We're just going to go rent for a couple months, or we're just going to put it on the sidelines. You guys know that there's a new platform out there with cash offers. So we've been introduced to that. It's kind of like just getting a pre-approval, and then it's you can buy the house cash. And it's 1% origination fee, just like it probably would be with most lenders. So we're trying to push that for a last little month or two to kind of get people off the fence. And inventory is starting to creep up a little bit, so it's not as like it was if you were looking in June or July or something of that nature. So
yeah,
prices are increasing, but the rates are still the same. So let's go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So this might be off subject a little bit, but you guys have big plans for the holidays?
No, man, I don't.
No.
I traveled 2 weeks ago to Lincoln, Nebraska for a football game. This summer I was gone for 3 weeks back east. And no, I'm just looking forward to sitting home and watching football and hanging out.
So why Nebraska?
I went to go see the Buckeyes beat the Cornhuskers.
That was, the first part of that game was closer than I thought it was going to be.
It was scary. When you watched it live, it was actually Nebraska beat Ohio State on paper, I think. Watching it, I'm sorry, not on paper, but on when you're watching the game live, they beat them everywhere. They beat them on third down conversions. They beat them. They coverage. The Ohio State secondary was terrible. So, anyways, we're lucky to get a win. Ohio State's lucky to get a win coming out of there.
Yeah. How was the atmosphere there?
Nuts. Awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those big football teams, like those college football teams, yeah. I'd love to go to some more of those. Just kind of put it on your list and, make a trip every year.
It was neat. That stadium was built in 1920. And when you're walking around the perimeter of the stadium, it kind of looked like it was like a running track. It kind of even had that little V8. Like you needed a V8, you're kind of walking at an angle. You're like, whoa. It was neat.
Funny. That's funny. So, are you a Cardinals fan too then, or no?
I am. I want to see the Cardinals do good. Yep, yeah, absolutely.
Doing all right. Not so good last week, but
no, that's right. Yeah, we got to get Murray healthy. Got to get Hopkins healthy and get back to playing some football.
Absolutely. So the agents that are watching or listening right now, what's one thing you could share with them that's kind of made the biggest impact in your business?
Just stay hungry. Don't stay complacent. Keep it going. Everyone's going to do the same thing. You're always going to, a team leader or a manager or any sales position, dial for dollars, do this, get in front of people. As long as you're committed to good customer service, and you have to change your outlook rather than think, I'm going to be a pest and I'm going to call this person and keep texting him and emailing him, what have you. But if you are truly dedicated to good customer service, and if you can show that with sincerity, you'll do well. Because if someone does say, quit calling me, well, that's kind of what you want to do, just to kind of get them off of your system. Yeah. But if you come across, you really you don't want these people to get in harm's way with somebody else, and you're committed to good customer service, then you'll be fine. Building rapport and just kind of coming out there with that type of state of mind, you'll do fine. You'll do fine.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Absolutely. I'm just noticing, I think when we had you on the first time, I think both of our goatees were a little bit darker.
And I didn't have these wings looking like Uncle Polly on the side too either. Probably.
Mine's gotten quite light right over here.
Hey man,
oh, gosh.
Getting old's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Anything else you want to share with the agents before we move to the next segment? Or
no, the only thing I would say that I want to share this from a manager standpoint. Someone had turned me on from a large team a few months ago. And everyone knows about the DISC assessments when you're hiring, whether you're hiring admins, transaction coordinators, what people on your staff, agents, partners, whatever. And you may even already know about this, or someone from your audience has already told you, or someone you've interviewed, but there's a psychology drive test. It's $200, and it focuses on drive only. And it's really basic. It's really easy to read. It's 5 stars.
Wow.
It's probably about 10 categories within the term drive. Mm-hmm. And if you're 3 or less on any one of those 10 categories, they're not a good fit.
Interesting.
For really any sales position is really when you dig into the psychology, I guess, of this drive test. So
do you remember the name of it?
The drive test.
Oh, it's just the drive test.
The drive test. Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah, Google it, and then you can whatever. It's awesome. Okay. It really is. And if somebody on your staff is at like a 3, mm-hmm. then you know where to work with them at. Mm-hmm. And when you start digging into it, you're like, oh wow, now I understand why you didn't get this lead, or why you didn't move forward, or why you were hesitant to stay in contact. So it's pretty fascinating. Where it keeps it simple too to manage.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to get in the ring. You good?
Yeah, brother. Let's go.
Do it.
All right. Hey, I want to give a big shout out first to our sponsor, Security Title Agency and Fidelity National Home Warranty, who always do a great job, as well as Rachel Turner over at Security Title for getting Martin on the show.
That's right.
All right. Here we go. How about Apple or Android?
Apple.
That's an easy one, isn't it, Martin?
It is.
I can see Joey back there. Like
those Androids are like a spaceship.
These are my Android. It looks just like a spaceship, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Martin, do you have a favorite Netflix or Amazon Prime series that you like?
My wife and I just finished Clickbait last night.
Oh, how is that? I heard about it.
Dude, it's freaky.
Is it?
Yes.
Like freaky scary? Or?
No, it's just, I'm not even going to tell you or the viewers, because there's only 8 episodes, and I guess there's going to be another segment thereafter.
Okay.
But I just finished the last one last night, and it's kind of like a mystery where you'll have no clue.
Really? Okay.
No clue what's going to happen until like the last 5 minutes of the show.
Okay. Well, I'm intrigued.
Yes, it's sweet.
Wow. How about a book recommendation, or whether you've read it or listened to it on Amazon or what have you?
Well, I got to give a shout out to Ramsey. He just came out with a book on Wednesday. Tuesday of this week, and I just bought a few copies of it to hand out as gifts. It's the 7 steps instead of the baby steps. Mm-hmm. It's the baby step millionaire version.
Oh,
really?
So I haven't got it yet. Mm-hmm. It's the paperback that's coming whenever, so I can gift it. But I paid for it, and it's on its way.
That's awesome. Check it out.
I'll have to check that one out for sure. And let's see, my final question for you, Joey might have another one, but how about Super Bowl prediction?
Super Bowl.
Who's going to be in it?
Oh man, Green Bay.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Man, I'm
Green
sorry,
Bay's
Cardinals.
Just kicking some butt.
But it's setting the stage.
Yeah.
And then the AFC, Buffalo maybe.
You think Buffalo?
Buffalo or Baltimore.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I think.
Not the Bucks,
I'd love to see my Chiefs get there, but they're having a hard year.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, I like Buffalo or Baltimore just because they're, that's, I don't know. I think that's, with Baltimore, it would be really, really a different type of scheme against Green Bay. It's flash and, the new style of putting up 50 points, and then the Green Bay way of just hard nose up the middle and then throw on third down. Whatever. It would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
well,
that's cool,
the
man.
Cardinals did okay against them, right? It was just that last play.
Mm-hmm.
They were about to win it. It was the last play.
I know. I hear you.
Anyway.
Well, Martin, thanks so much for being on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to see you guys. Thanks for having me. Glad to be in the studio rather than stupid Zoom. No offense, Joe.
I know.
I still got to work on mine. You can tell I don't have my backdrop or anything done yet. But,
Stupid is what stupid does.
we just got here. I was lucky enough to find a microphone.
Well, good to see you, man.
So, well, thanks, Martin. I appreciate it, man.
Okay, fellas, you bet. Anytime.
Good luck to you in the new year, man.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care.
Till next time, agents, we will see you later. Take care.